Thanksgiving now. We did Thanksgiving dinner 3 nights over the holidays, so it's Monday and I'm just getting back at it. My leg is still messed up, so I'm doing really light work. What I have received though today was classic braid. This is a sort of a woven braid material. Let's see if I can show it to you here. It's kind of a woven braid material that is split. It's plastic, but it's woven so it's open. And I'm just going to try this stuff. It's better than the fluted. You know, this won't hold water. So it's kind of a racing kind of product. Performance wire wrap. So that's what I'm doing. Is I am going to recover, should I say redo, my whole harness going into the back here where the braid is just completely frazzled here. So I'm going to replace the whole thing and sort of re-wrap the entire harness so I can put it back in the car. So that's something I can do with a bum leg, right? Okay, so let's get at it. I'm just working it onto the harness here. And this is all gone here. I mean, all of the old harness is gone. So I'm just going to push it right on up through here, through the A-pillar and up. And away we go. It can just go up as far as I can get it. But it should protect it from chafing. Well, come on. I know you can do it there, buddy. Get a little tight there, going through this A-pillar here. I'm hoping I can just get a hold of it here. Yep. Once I get a hold of it on the inside here, I should be able to just pull it. Yep. Perfect. And I think I'll stop right there. Today's update. My leg is a little better, so I'm kind of messing around out here in the garage. I'm just going to continue working on the wiring harness here. I'm going to get it re-wrapped, re-sheathed as it were. I got part of it done here already. Yeah, you know, this stuff is kind of a pain to get the wires into the wrap. The overlap is 50%, so you have to kind of wrap the wires around through to get it into the center of the wrap. All in all, though, I think it's a really good product. It's flexible and easy to work with. It will, as you put in seams and stuff, it'll go around it and expand and contract, and so it actually works out pretty well. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I realized that I'd made the decision I was going to put the ground wires, use the ground lugs on the sockets, so I had to make up a little jumper of ground wires that came from the sockets, went up and joined the ground from the trailer harness, and connect to that screw. It turns out that there's a ground screw in the back that the harness has always had, and all it had on it was a length of wire, maybe a foot or a foot and a half long, and it just went into the harness and then stopped. Didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything, and it had been like that since I owned the car. Just so weird. So here I'm just trying to finish off the very last of it, and I actually left the little jumpers for the side marker lights and stuff. I left that to do later. I just wanted to get it to a point where I could get it fished through the back up over the fender. Or not fender, but wheel well. And there I go. I'm feeding it over the wheel well right now. Had to use my long screwdriver there because the trailer harness kept hanging up. Getting my harness all put together, all wrapped up and put together there. Up over the top. All right, back in the trunk. Same thing, just kind of getting it all placed. I had actually cut the socket off of the passenger side. Yeah, off of the passenger side taillight so that I could run the wires behind the bracket there that has the trunk latch on it. Yeah, it looks nice down here. Look at that. Pretty snazzy. I like this harness wrap. It's cool stuff. Welcome to Don's Manufactory. Update. Well, I put the alternator, solenoid, battery back in. Just expressly so I could test if I got the lights in and wired correctly. Yay, I do. Running lights on both sides. Looks pretty good, actually. Let me turn this light on. You can see how good the harness looks up in there. I put some of that harness stuff on there. It looks, it all looks pretty sharp. Don't have the light screwed in yet because I have to work on those yet. I've got to seal them up before I bolt them up. Put another seam seal in here where I had to do the rust repair. Here's my backup light. And this one here should be the license light. I've also got my trailer hookup. And basically I just leave this here on the trunk like so. And when I have to hook it to the trailer, I just drape it over the outside like that. Because I just never really wanted to poke another hole in the body. And then when I'm done using it, it just goes right back inside like so. Pretty snazzy, huh? Pretty darn sharp. What the heck is that black thing that won't come off of there? There we go. Looks pretty good. There's the side marker light. Don't have the steering column in, so I can't test the brake lights because I can trip the switch, but without the turn signal switch, which has an interrupter for the brake lights, they don't work. Hey. So there's my update. Got the wiring done. Got this stuff done. Just all light work today because my leg is still really bothering me. My knee is. Okay, so tomorrow I've decided what I'm going to do is put the wheels back on, and I've got skates for the wheels. I have 4 of those, and so I'm going to put it back on the wheels on skates so I can push it back in the corner, which will give me a whole bunch of room up in the front and on the side over here to work on the door. So then I'll drag the passenger door up here and I'll start doing the rust repair on the door. I kind of wanted to get the doors done. I've got kits to repair the hinges. These are actually original hinges. I replaced these, oh gosh, these lower ones. I could buy these in the 80s, I think in 83 or maybe in 87 when I painted it. I put new hinges. These are Ford hinges though. They're not aftermarket repops. These are Fords. So I have another pair of Ford lower hinges. So I got enough kits to repair all 4 hinges. These have never been repaired. In fact, they've never been off the car. So, and they're actually not all that bad. They got a little play in them. But what I wanted to do was get the, because that striker has not been moved, the latch on the door has not been moved, the hinges have not been moved here, so I can put the door back up there and it'll adjust right in where it needs to be. And then I'll just pull the hinges off one at a time with the door closed and latched, so I can just put the hinge right back on. That way I don't have to muck with the doors too much. So that's my story. I'll be doing a mod to the hinges as well. It's another idea of mine. I'm going to drill it with put a hole in there and a little bit of a countersink. So my grease gun right over there that has a rubber tip on it, I can stick it right in the countersink and just go and grease the hinges. So I'll do that on the top and the bottom, so I can then grease these, and that'll keep them in better shape. So there you go. That's the plans. I have no idea whether that's all going to work out, but hey, what the heck. These skates just, well, let me unlock it here and I'll pull it around as a demonstration. They don't roll so easy that the car gets away from me, but the garage floor is pretty flat. But pretty much all I got to do is just grab it, push it around. It actually pushes pretty easily. Just kind of lean into it a bit. The idea is I'm setting up for working on the door, welding the doors and stuff. So I had to get my welder out on this side and my stand. So I can just set up the stand with the door here and I can just work right here. Have plenty of room for that. That's close enough. Just going to lock the wheels. And the good news is, now that it's back down on its suspension, I took my level, and as you can see, the results are quite good. Surprising. The car is sitting perfectly level. So I guess I didn't screw up too bad, or I have recovered enough. I got to grab that door and haul it up out of my basement repository of Mustang parts. And with a bum leg, I'm not so sure how easy that's going to be. So my first look inside the door, and as you can see, it's got Bondo sticking through little holes where it's been drilled and slide hammered there at the top. That's where the footprint is. I talked about in my video many moons ago. But there's another one down here. It's a bit rusty and crusty, but I am going to just wire brush all of this and treat it. I'm just starting to wire brush it, try to see if I can clean it up. If I can, I won't skin the door. If I can't, then I will. As you can see, I am working on the rust here. This is what I do. And my little hacksaw blade sharpened. And you can see how it just peels the rust right out of there. And now you can see just what that looks like. Another coat of OSPO. let it sit a little bit, and then go after it again. Tonight's update. It's about 10 o'clock, and I'm knocking off. Here is what the inside of my door looks like now. That's with all the OSPO and the rust all taken out. So pretty good, you know. I think that'll, yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good. Here also, on the bottom, this very bottom outside of the weather strip here, you can see where there was some rust along the bottom of that edge, and I have taken care of that too. Okay, so I have cut out my patch. This here was a small dent that had a slide hammer put in and popped up, and they put the Bondo in there, but the Bondo was coming out. So I just went ahead and knocked that out. I'm going to weld that hole up and re-Bondo that. And I'll make a patch for this. And I've just been working on the rust down in this corner, making sure that I've got everything taken care of. The wife and I took off in the van, and we got a ways from here, and the van died. It was a pretty odd die. I tried to troubleshoot it at the spot, and I could not figure it out. I didn't have the right stuff with me. So we walked back, and I called the tow truck, and they grabbed the car and brought it home. Turns out, distributor cap. I've never seen distributor cap fail like this. It's one of these dang spider ones. Basically, the center nubbin here shorted across to this and then this. So the dielectric of the cap broke down. So it shorted cylinders 3 and 2 together to the coil input. So basically every time the coil was firing, it was sparking 3 cylinders, number 2, number 3, and then whatever the rotor was poking at. Anyway, the motor wouldn't even run. And we were driving it at the time, and it was driving fine, and all of a sudden it just sort of rambled down and it quit. And so it took me a while to chase this down, because this thing's only a couple of years old, and I kind of figured that it was okay, and it looked okay, but indeed it wasn't okay. And there it is. You can see my screwdriver pointing at it. That little tiny hole was where the spark was arcing through and shorted out and killed the motor completely. So after half a day of diagnosis and walking on my bad knee back and forth, trying different parts and stuff, now it's running just like that. Okay, cutting a patch. Here's the old piece out of the door, rusted through. So cutting a patch out of this thing, because it's already got the arc that I need. It's already curved properly. All I got to do is fit it and make it work. So, hey, there you go. Oh, this hurts. Yeah, I should say so. Having to take the paint off of Betsy every time I do this, and I'm sanding that paint off, it's tough. Okay, that's looking great. There's one little hole right there I knocked in it that I got to weld up, but other than that, nice. Okay, so here's the patch tacked in, and I was originally going to do a fusion weld with my TIG welder, but it didn't work out. So here I am, just using the MIG like usual, stitching along the edge and smoothing her out. I'm taking the sort of a straight edge and measuring along to make sure I get the angles and the lines and everything straight on the thing. Also had to dress up the bottom, of course. Okay, there it is. Patches on the door. Yippee-ki-yay. Good enough. You can see where there was a dent there they filled with Bondo, and my weld kind of pulled a little bit right there, but it turned out pretty good over there. Yeah, whatever. That's it. Later.